What's going on, everyone? This is Chris Macro from the spreadsheetguru.com. Today we're going to look at an issue I came across when I was writing a PasteSpecial macro. We're going to start off by looking at the code first. It's very short and sweet to the point. We're taking our selection and pasting the column widths and the values only. So let's put this guy into action. I will highlight my range and copy it, and go over to sheet 2 and run the macro. And we've got the dreaded error message popping up telling me that something's wrong with my code. And I was scratching my head for the longest time because the code looked like it was written properly, and yet my macro was not running. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and after a couple hours of messing around, I finally figured out what was going on. So let's try to run this code again, and I can show you what I found. So I'll copy. Notice that we have our marching ants to signal that this is on the clipboard now. And I'll launch the macro dialog, and look, those marching ants disappeared. So when I ran it, it didn't have anything on the clipboard, and it got confused. So I realized that whatever dialog box gets open, if there's anything on the clipboard in Excel, it will remove that from the clipboard. As another example, if I copy this and let's go to the format cells dialog, it cleared it again. So that is a general rule that I did not realize or really pay attention to until I got this error. So the only way to run this macro is by either creating a shortcut. So I could go over to the macro dialog and go into the options of the macro, and I can assign it a shortcut hotkey. So in this instance, let's just do Shift V and hit OK. And then I should be able to copy this just fine. There we go. Just got the values and the column widths. Or I could also assign the macro to a shape. So if I went over to the insert and drew a little shape to act as a button, I could assign that macro to that shape to run and click the shape, and it pastes that over just fine. Or the third, you can execute it through the Visual Basic Editor itself. So what I did was I did not use this code as my final product. I went over here and actually added an error handler to inform the user if they ran it through the macro dialog, how to properly run that and why they would be getting an error. So let's try to run my final macro and see the error that pops up. So I just inform the user that there's no data on the clipboard to be pasted, and I kind of explain the situation and how to properly run that macro. So I thought it was an interesting little exercise I went through. Definitely learned my lesson about PasteSpecial, and hopefully if you've ever seen this error issue before, that this can save you some time in troubleshooting what's going on with your macro. If you want to learn more, you can visit my blog at thespreadsheetguru.com/blog. I've got a lot of great Excel, PowerPoint, and Word tutorials. I've also got a lot of VBA code that you can just copy and paste and use right off the bat. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.